Treasure Coast Connector, connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Ellen Contreras.
Well, welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras. My company by the same name is one of the show's sponsors, and we create websites and lead generation programs, social media marketing, video production, advertising, PR, and so much more. We do this for our clients to create awareness of their products and services in the marketplace. Treasure Coast Connector, the show, we put a spotlight on the local business owners here in the Treasure Coast area because everyone has an interesting story of why they do what they do. When we learn about them and work with them, it strengthens our local economy. 245 years ago, this country was founded on very strong principles, as noted in the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution. Fast forward to today, and we're entering into uncertain territory. Joining me in the studio today is Joe Coakley, and he is known throughout Indian River County and the Treasure Coast. He has founded a nonprofit organization called the Vero Institute for American Liberty, and he's here to share with us all about this organization. So welcome to the show, Joe.
Thank you so much for having me on today. Yeah. It's an honor to be here. It's an opportunity for me to be able to share with your listening audience what I think is happening in our country as of today.
Yes, absolutely. And we're going to talk about the Vero Institute. But for those, I think there's 4 to 6 people in the Treasure Coast that don't know who you are. You're firmly woven into the fabric of this. I'm telling you, everybody knows you. And I say, run for mayor. Just kidding. I can say that, though. But anyway, I joke around. But tell us a little bit about your background and what you're known for in this area.
Well, I think primarily what I'm known for is my ability to be able to communicate with people and be 100% fair and honest with them. Sometimes they don't like to hear what I have to say, but that's okay. That's part of our world. That's part of our learning process in this world. And so I'm just going to tell it like it is, and hopefully they will agree with me.
Yep, I totally understand. And so now, what was the impetus behind the formation of the Vero Institute for American Liberty?
Well, I was involved with the Republican Executive Committee for Indian River County. I was voted in to be the state committee man. And because of the fact that I had put 2 years into that with great effort, and then unfortunately had a heart attack and had to back away from all of that.
Okay.
So here I find myself sitting at home saying, oh my gosh, I still want to be able to do things, but I can't do it on a large scale like that. Mm-hmm. So I needed to do it on my own, at my own pace, and be able to focus on what I thought was the important things of life and the direction that our country was heading in.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I totally understand. And so now the principles that make up this organization. I, of course, had the benefit of looking at your website, which, you know what, let's give your website right now. Let everybody know what your website is.
I'm going to leave that up to you.
Okay.
To tell everybody, because I want to spend and focus more of my time on what my real true message is. So if we could do that, if you don't mind, I don't mean to change your format. I'm sorry.
No, that is fine. But you know what happens is, God forbid we forget at the end. So Vero Institute
for American Liberty.
For AmericanLiberty.org. Okay,
correct.
Very good. So now the principles and your message. Let's talk about that now.
Okay. As we all know, we're dealing with a generation of younger people at this time in your life and in my life. I call it the X, the Y, and the Z generation.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
These young people have been taught from the time that they've gone to grammar school, through high school, and through their college years. They've been taught the liberalism by the left, whether it's the left at the professor level, or whether it's the left at the high school level, or whether it's the left at the educational center of grammar schools. So they're getting all of this information, which is not what our country is all about. Everybody seems to want to have an easy way out in life. I had to work to make myself and my family sustainable. You had to do the same thing, and you continue to do that today. Young people, for some reason, just want to sit around, and I hate to say this, it's not all young people.
That is true.
But they sit there with their hand out, waiting for that handout from Mother Government, and, that's not the way for us to live.
I agree. So as you know, I've been in staffing and recruiting for a long, long time. And I come across young people who are so focused, they're so educated and bright, and they want to work hard and they want to make an impact. Right. And that is wonderful. But then there is a group, every now and then I would get a phone call from someone and they would say, my son or my daughter, 24 to 27 years old, they're sitting home, they're not working, they don't want to work, and they're asking me to try to help them.
Correct.
Light a fire under the fanny to get them to go out on job interviews. And these kids, and I call them kids, they're not kids, but children, women, children, and they don't want to, and I don't understand how that has happened. But, yes.
I think what is important, as to what it is that I want to accomplish, Ellen, is we know that there are a group of people in this country, a very, very large group of people, who are going to take everything they can get for nothing. They don't want to work. What happens to that group of people is we have people like your husband, who came from a foreign country, lived under socialism, lived under communism. And what did he have? What did he strive for in his life? He strove to come to this country, the United States of America, because it was a free country and an opportunity for him to make a living and take care of his family. But what is happening throughout the world right now? We have places like Venezuela. We have places like Cuba. We have places, in particular, communist China.
And North Korea.
They are infiltrating the United States of America at a pace that we can't even measure. That's how fast it's happening. Just to throw out a couple of names, let's throw out the name of George Soros. He's throwing all his money that he can to these leftist groups all over the United States to promote communism. That's what he's doing. And you know what? These people are accepting his money because it's easy money for them. They don't have to work. They can just accept his money. Yeah.
And I think that, for all of us, regardless of our age, but especially the young kids where their brains, they're still forming their ideas and opinions. So you want to be able to give them information. So I know that there will always be a two-party system. I think that's good, maybe even a three-party system. And it's okay to be like, for example, we should have the ability to have our opinions, be able to express our opinions. This is a country that was founded on that principle. But any extreme to either side, it's the extremes that have always scared me. Okay. And I do think that we should have people be able to have their opinions. But I think that if we were to really look at the people in Cuba, in Venezuela, in North Korea, the top smaller than 1%, they are the ones that want the socialism and communism because they benefit. Correct. And those are the people that are trying to inject that ideology here, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
And that's what you're working to educate against.
Yes, absolutely. And the more time that I spend, whether it's out on the street or in my office or wherever I'm at, I have this realization, that we still have a chance in this country to turn this ideology that the communists are imposing on us on a daily basis. We have the opportunity to turn it around. but we have to start at the very, very top. Okay, we have to change the people who are left-minded thinking and change them. Try to convince them of what they are doing wrong. They have to be educated as to how this country was formed, how it was built, under what principles was it built. It's not just Reaganism, okay, that is very strong for me, but it's going all the way back to the formation of this country, okay, and what we built it on. It's hard-working young men and women who want freedom. They want the best for their families, the best for their children. And we are getting pulled in a different direction.
Yeah.
Our most educated people in some of the most prestigious colleges in the United States of America, and I'm not afraid to mention names, the Harvards, the Yales, the Princetons, the Columbias, okay, of the world. They've got leftist promoted professors who want to promote this way of life. And that's what's happening to our young people. And our young people accept what they're saying because they don't know what they have to work for.
And so what bothers me is that, for 3 years now, we have been subsidizing one of my husband's daughters in Venezuela. We can't get her out. And she has 2 beautiful daughters, okay, my husband's daughter and 2 grandchildren. And we go to Publix with a list, and we get everything on our list. But you can't do that in Venezuela.
Absolutely not.
If you want chicken, maybe that store will have it, and then you're waiting online for an hour. And then if you want rice and beans, like Monica has to go to a bunch of different stores. It takes like a whole day for her to get a handful of items. If you want soap, there's only one brand that you can get. His other daughter who's here, when we took her to Walmart for the first time and she needed soap, she couldn't believe what she was looking at. A wall of soap, all different types. So they're scared. The people that live in Venezuela, it's torturous. I can't even, there's not enough time. And this show is your show.
Thank you. Let me say this. It's interesting because I do not exactly know, and I'm sure you don't either, who our listening audience is right at this very, very moment. There's some people that are going to agree with you and I today, and there's going to be others who are sitting out there listening and say, oh my God, where did they get this guy from, okay? And why is he talking like he's talking? If we really examine what is going on in this world right now, okay, we should be on our knees praying to God on a daily basis, and that's not a bad word, God.
Yeah,
okay? We should be on our knees and thanking Him for what we've had and praying to Him on a daily basis again to get us through this, what we're going through in this country right now. I have grandchildren that live in this community. I fear for them on a daily basis. I had every opportunity in life to make whatever I wanted to make of myself. I'm not sure my grandchildren are going to have that opportunity. And that's why I am scared. So I'm devoting all my time and effort into this Vero Institute to help educate younger people as to what it is they're being told. Because we're all products of our parents, okay? And if our parents believe what the left is telling them, what are the children going to believe? That is what's happening in our country right now.
Yep. And when we come back from this quick 2-minute break, we're going to talk more about your organization and what it is that you'll be doing in the community. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Sturgis Lumber is more than just lumber.
Timber!
Residential, commercial, and industrial applications. Sturgis has all of the hardware to help with your project. Visit SturgisLumber.com. 4 generations strong, Sturgis Lumber and Hardware. More than just lumber.
ITEX, or International Trade Exchange, is the largest barter company in the world with over 25,000 members offering goods and services. We're a marketing company that brings you new business in the way of trade, with over 200 local members enjoying the benefits of ITEX, like lawyers, doctors, plumbers, media, printing, and more.
Hi, this is Liz Bowler. Contact me and find out why barter through ITEX has been smarter for over 30 years. 772-532-1881. Visit itex.com.
Let your inner star shine with your own show. Broadcast your own show worldwide. Contact Planet Vero now. Your show can appear on up to 3 iHeartRadio stations, plus podcasting and live video streaming. Be a part of our stellar lineup. Visit planetvero.com.
Stop. Don't make a $1,000, $5,000, or $10,000 mistake. Remember the name, Atlantic Hardscapes. Atlantic Hardscapes has the best prices for all your hardscape needs. From pottery founds, synthetic turf, pavers, rock, topsoil fill, boulders, flagstone, outdoor kitchens, and much more. Delivery and installation is available. Their beautiful outdoor showroom is next to Pineapple Joe's in Fort Pierce. Remember their website, AtlanticHardscapesSupply.com.
Happy holidays from Sweet Creations. Order your freshly baked holiday pies, holiday selection of cookie platters, and freshly baked and built gingerbread house decorating kits, complete with everything needed to create a festive and tasty holiday treat. Follow Sweet Creations on Facebook and visit them in the Dixie Colonial Plaza in Vero Beach on Old Dixie Highway.
Well, welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras, and I've been chatting with Joe Coakley, and he has founded the Vero Institute for American Liberty, and we were talking about some of the things that are happening in this country that are very unsettling, but now we're going to talk about some of the things that you're working on to be a part of the solution. So let's talk about that.
Okay. I decided approximately 9 to 10 months ago to form what is called the Vero Institute for American Liberty. And the reason I did that is because I felt that I could contribute back to first our local community and try to help start educating people locally to get them to think. That's what I'm all about, is education. So the Vero Institute could go in several different directions if I choose to have it go that way. But right now, the first thing that I have concentrated on was to create videos, because especially today, our young people are more visual than they are of reading the local newspaper or any newspapers, whether it's local or whatever. So if they see a video, they might relate better to the video. So I had the opportunity just recently to create a video of 3 different individuals who came from 3 different foreign countries. All 3 of those people lived either under communism, under socialism, or whatever else, okay? In one particular case, the lady was from Germany, and she lived under Marxism in particular, very heavy-like. We filmed them. We asked them a lot of questions. They told their stories. And what I hope to do is, within the next month or 2, start putting that video out so people can see it. And hopefully they'll get educated from those people who have lived under those kind of governments. If nothing else, they'll realize that you have to work to earn a paycheck. You can't just keep getting it handed to you by the United States government. It's great for the paper company because the government can print all the paper they want. But eventually, guess what's going to happen? They're not going to be able to cover their debts. Right. And we are going in a direction of debt that this country has never seen before. Trillions upon trillions of dollars. Who's going to wind up paying for that? It's not going to be you, Ellen. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be me. It's going to be your children, my grandchildren are going to be the ones that are going to pay this, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, what can I do? I'm here as the creator of this institute to ask your listening audience to help me. I'll take any kind of help that I can get from people, even if it's constructive criticism or non-constructive criticism. I consider that help also because I want to listen to all sides. But in order to do what I'm trying to do, creating videos is an expensive proposition.
Yes,
it costs money to do that. So I'm going to ask your listening audience at this point in time, if anybody wishes to donate, they can go to my website. They'll see a donate button right there. Please, I ask you for your help. Please send us checks, whether they're large checks, they're small checks, or if it's cash, you can send cash. I don't care, because all I want to do is help educate the public. And ladies and gentlemen, please, I implore you to know that I have a passion in my heart to do this. I don't want to just help save my grandchildren. I want to help save your children. I want to help save your grandchildren. And when I look at what is going on, even in our school system, I'm very scared at times to see what's going on. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of great teachers out there. There's a lot of great educators. We have great school board members, okay? But everybody has a different way of thinking. They need to be educated also. They need to see what we're headed for. And, you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, in my mind anyhow, to figure out what's going on here. Every day, the Chinese are invading us on a daily basis, whether it's through the school system or no matter what they're doing. I'm sorry, I get lost for words sometimes because I get so excited about this. So anyhow, please, listening audience, please contribute if you can. And if it's not money, please feel free to go to the website, write me notes, tell me what you're thinking, give me a phone call. I'm happy to listen, whether you disagree with me or you agree with me. I'm happy to take your calls anytime.
Well, very good. So the website is it's Vero Institute for American Liberty.org.
Correct.
Okay. And so when people go to that website, it pops up with joining your email.
Correct.
So you can get on your email list and you're going to send out information so they can reach you that way as well. And it's Joe at Vero Institute for American Liberty.org.
Correct.
Okay. So that way they can, ask you questions. And as you progress with this organization, you never know, there might be events that you're going to be hosting and doing, and there might even be need for volunteer help, but also getting those videos out. So Cindy gave us the 2-minute warning.
Okay.
One of these days, she's going to give me a whole hour. I feel it. I know it. But we have 2 minutes before we wrap up. Is there anything else?
Yeah, I'd just like to mention one thing. I feel very honored. There's a newspaper in this country called the Epoch Times, EPOCH Times. Very conservative newspaper. And if people would only subscribe to that, they would see, because there's much more brilliant people out there than I am, okay? And they all have the same opinion that I do, and they do much more research than I do. So please subscribe to that newspaper. And they have given me permission to be able to take some of their articles and put them on my website. If you go to my website, you'll see several articles that have nothing to do with my writing or anything that comes from the Epoch Times.
Yeah.
So,
and since we have a lot of people that have lived here, or have moved here rather from other countries, just ask other people what it was like where they lived, and they'll give you firsthand accounts that will just make you want to cry.
Yes, absolutely.
I've heard so many stories even before I met my husband. So
let me again say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
Pleasure.
Truthfully, and hopefully your listening audience is really listening. Yeah. And thank you so much.
I hope so too. So that about wraps up this week's episode of Treasure Coast Connector. I hope that everyone out there has a wonderful, safe, productive week. And until next week, I miss you already.